When Americans visit Malaysia in 2025, many of them become speechless because the country feels completely different from what they expected. They arrive thinking Malaysia is a small developing nation somewhere in Southeast Asia, but the moment they land, they realize they were totally wrong. The first shock begins at the airport itself. They walk into a clean, modern, organized airport where things work smoothly. They see efficient immigration lines, polite staff, and everything running on time. For many Americans used to chaotic airports, long waits, and stressful travel, this instantly surprises them. They expect delays and confusion, but they see the opposite. The airport becomes their first wake-up call that Malaysia is not what they imagined. Then they step outside and get hit by the second shock. The transportation system in Malaysia in 2025 feels like a mix of Asia and the future. Americans see highways that look cleaner than many places back home, trains that arrive right on time, and ride-hailing services that are cheap and reliable. They compare it to American cities where public transport can be slow, old, or unreliable. In Malaysia, they see modern trains like MRT, LRT, ERL, and rapid buses running on schedule. They see newer infrastructure that looks fresh and maintained. The idea that a developing country can have better public transport than giant US cities like Los Angeles or New York makes many of them speechless. Then comes the third shock. The food. Americans already know Malaysia is famous for food, but they are never ready for how insane the experience is. They walk into a food court or a hawker center and see options from Malay food, Chinese food, Indian food, Nyonya, fusion, Middle Eastern, Western, Thai, Indonesian, Korean, Japanese, and more. And the prices stun them. They look at a plate of fresh nasi lemak, noodles, biryani, chicken rice, satay, roti canai, char kway teow, and they realize they can eat a huge meal for what would be the price of a coffee back home. Americans see food that is fresh, flavorful, affordable, and available at 2 a.m. They are shocked that a single food court in Malaysia has more variety than many US cities. And the quality of the food, the spice, the freshness, the bold flavors, everything feels more alive. Many Americans say they gain weight in Malaysia because the food is too good and too cheap to resist. The fourth shock comes from safety. Americans walk around Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor Bahru, Shah Alam, or even smaller towns and realize how safe they feel. They see families walking late at night, kids playing outside, people sitting in cafes at 1 a.m. For many Americans used to increasing crime in their cities, this feels unreal. They are surprised that they can walk around without constantly checking over their shoulder. They see police presence but not aggressive policing. They see a society where people respect each other. They notice far fewer homeless people than in many US urban centers. Malaysia in 2025 feels stable, peaceful, and socially calm. This makes many Americans wonder what went wrong in their own country. The fifth shock is the cost of living. Americans cannot believe how affordable life in Malaysia is compared to the US. They compare rent, food, transportation, healthcare, and daily expenses. They realize that what they pay for a small apartment in the US could get them a luxury condominium in Malaysia with a gym, pool, security, and modern facilities. They realize groceries are cheaper, eating out is cheaper, and daily life feels less stressful financially. They hear about medical tourism and realize Malaysian healthcare is high quality but only a fraction of US prices. Many Americans become speechless because they finally see what it means to live comfortably without being crushed by costs. Then comes the sixth shock, diversity. Americans expect Malaysia to be one culture, but they walk around and see Malays, Chinese, Indians, Eurasians, and dozens of ethnic groups. They hear multiple languages spoken in a single mall. They see mosques, temples, and churches standing close together. They see people celebrating Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Deepavali, Christmas, Mooncake Festival, and more. They see multicultural harmony that feels rare in many parts of the world. They see people who look different, speak different languages, and eat different foods but still live together peacefully. Americans are shocked because the diversity in Malaysia feels natural, not forced or political. The seventh shock is how friendly Malaysians are. Americans often say Malaysians are some of the nicest people they have ever met. They see people who are polite, helpful, respectful, and calm. They see strangers offering directions, shopkeepers smiling, locals giving recommendations, and people treating them with kindness. They compare it to their own country where interactions can feel rushed or tense. In Malaysia, the vibe is relaxed, warm, and welcoming. The softness of the Malaysian personality surprises them, especially when they visit rural areas or meet older people who still follow strong traditions of hospitality. The eighth shock is how fast Malaysia is developing. Americans see skyscrapers rising everywhere. They see new highways, new malls, new train lines, smart city projects, EV charging stations, and tech hubs. They see massive projects like TRX, Merdeka 118, the new Penang developments, and Johor's rapid expansion. They see construction happening non-stop. Many Americans come from cities in the US where infrastructure is crumbling, roads have potholes, and development is slow. In Malaysia, they see energy, momentum, and ambition. They meet young Malaysians who speak English, work in tech, and aim to build a modern future. This makes Americans speechless because they realize Malaysia is not stuck in the past, it is pushing forward with speed. The ninth shock is the natural beauty. Americans arrive expecting tropical weather, but they do not expect islands like Langkawi, Perhentian, Redang, or Timon to look this beautiful. They see beaches that look cleaner than many places in Florida or California. They see blue water, green mountains, peaceful forests, and wildlife everywhere. They see Cameron Highlands, Henteng Highlands, Taman Negara, Kundasang, Sabah, and Sarawak. They see waterfalls, caves, rivers, and parks that feel untouched. Malaysia's nature feels raw and real. Many Americans say Malaysia has some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world but without the overcrowding seen in other tourist regions. The 10th shock is how balanced life feels. Americans come from a society where people are always stressed, always working, always rushing. In Malaysia, they see people who enjoy their time, spend moments with family, go out at night to eat, take holidays, and actually live life. They see a culture that values balance. They see that Malaysians may work hard, but they also know how to relax. They see that people laugh more, talk more, and slow down sometimes. This feels shocking to Americans who realize how stressful their lives have become. They admire how Malaysians manage to live with less pressure but still build a growing country. Americans also become speechless when they see how Malaysia mixes modern life with tradition. In the same city, they see a massive tower like Merdeka 118 standing right next to old markets, temples, mosques, and historical streets. They see the future and the past coexisting. They see people using smartphones, QR payments, and e-wallets while still following cultural traditions, family values, and religious practices. This mix feels unique and surprising. Americans often say Malaysia has soul, something many modern countries have lost. They also get shocked when they see how clean certain parts of Malaysia are. They walk into malls that are spotless and smell like luxury hotels. They walk through airports that shine. They walk through modern areas like Putrajaya where everything looks perfectly planned. They see neighborhoods that feel well organized. They compare this to American cities where trash on the streets has become common. Malaysia's cleanliness in certain areas makes them speechless. Another reason Americans feel shocked is how advanced the malls are. Malaysia's malls are not just shopping places, they are entertainment hubs. They are massive, modern, air-conditioned, and filled with food, shops, cinemas, arcades, and events. Americans say Malaysia has some of the best malls in the world. They compare them to outdated US malls that are slowly dying. Malaysia's malls feel alive, futuristic, and full of life. Another surprising thing for Americans is how easy everyday life feels in Malaysia. They see 24-hour convenience stores, late-night restaurants, delivery apps that work fast, and services that are affordable. They see that people do not have to work 2 jobs just to survive. They see a lifestyle where things are smoother, simpler, and stress-free. This makes them think deeply about the cost of living and quality of life in their own country. Americans also become speechless when they learn how widespread English is in Malaysia. They go to malls, restaurants, airports, hospitals, and tourist areas and see that almost everyone can speak at least basic English. They did not expect that level of comfort. They meet locals who speak English, Malay, Chinese dialects, Tamil, and more. This multilingual environment shocks them because it shows how educated and adaptable Malaysians are. They also get shocked by how peaceful Malaysian politics and society feel compared to the US. Even when there are disagreements, it never reaches the level of division seen in America. They see people with different religions and ethnicities living together without hatred. They see a country that is not perfect but still calmer than what they see back home. Another shock for Americans is how strong community values are. They see families eating together, relatives living close by, and parents spending time with their kids. They see close bonds that are fading in many Western countries. They see respect given to elders, traditions kept alive, and moral values still respected. This surprises many Americans because they see something they feel their own society has lost. Many Americans also become speechless when they realize how affordable luxury is in Malaysia. They see luxury cars, high-rise condos, shopping malls with designer stores, and rooftop dining experiences that don't cost anywhere near what they would cost in the US. They realize they can enjoy high-end experiences at a reasonable price. They also get shocked by how large and modern Malaysian houses can be. They compare American homes, which are becoming expensive and smaller, to Malaysian homes that are spacious and newer. And lastly, Americans get shocked by how much potential Malaysia has. They see a country with young people, technological growth, cultural richness, natural beauty, modern infrastructure, and strategic location. They see a country that could easily become one of the strongest in Asia. They leave Malaysia speechless because they witnessed a place that is rising fast, building confidently, and offering a lifestyle many Americans secretly wish they had.